Hey everybody, I'm back with a weekly chat video, and this week is kind of a little bit like last week. Some really good things and some not so good things have happened, but I thought I would share, and this time I thought I would start with the not so good things and then lead up to the really good things. So one not so good thing is I did sell an item on eBay, I think last week. I can't remember the exact time. Person never paid for the item, so an unpaid claim has been opened up, or an unpaid, I can't remember exactly what the terminology is, but that has been opened up. Have not heard a word from the buyer whatsoever. I hate having to do this because at this point it's like, if they're not willing to pay whatsoever and then all of a sudden it gets into this conflict, I would rather just not deal with them at all. So it doesn't look like they're going to pay. So eBay did tell me they would relist it after, I think, the 17th, which is well, when this video goes up, it'll be the 17th. So at that point, I think it'll just be relisted, the item, and I would actually much rather that happen. So anyway, that was a negative thing. As far as another negative, but a little bit of a positive thing, I pretty much think I have figured out what is going on with my dental problems. Fairly confident it's TMJ. I don't know a lot about it, but apparently it's very common from what I'm talking to, when I've been talking to different people about it. They're like, oh yeah, I had that so-and-so time. So I did kind of Google the symptoms of it, and I had most of them. My jaw has not locked open, thank the Lord. That has not happened. So that's the thing that scares me the most, is my jaw locking. So that has not happened. Hopefully it will not happen. So I called my dentist on Monday. They were like, I led with the fact I think I've got TMJ. When I said that, they're like, he doesn't treat it, so you're going to have to go to this other place and we'll refer you to them. So they referred me to an oral surgeon. I called them, and here's the weird thing, and it kind of makes sense once you think about it. If it's TMJ, dental insurance will not cover it because it's a jaw issue and not a teeth issue. So they said, what medical insurance do you have? And I told them, and they're like, oh, we're out of your network, so we won't take that. And the price of just a consultation is going to be like $296, and get this, the first appointment that they have is December the 9th. I'm like, it's October. When I called, it was closer to October the 9th, and I'm like, that's 2 months away. And so I was like, I said, go ahead and make the appointment, because I didn't know how crazy this was going to be. So my next step was to call my insurance company, my medical insurance company, and see what oral surgeons were in the network that I could go to. And so they gave me a list. I called, and they said, yep, we're in your network. We can see you on October the 28th, which was it's still, almost 2 weeks away, a little bit less now. So I thought, okay, sign me up. And I said, well, how much is it going to cost? And she said, well, you will be covered, but we don't know. We'll have to run it through the insurance company and see what they're going to pay, what you're out of pocket, blah, blah, blah. So they said the consultation fee is $260 something. I can't remember the exact, $260 something. And I'm like, for a consultation fee, why does it cost so much for a consultation fee? Does anybody know? I have no idea. I'm like, if we're just going to consult, why isn't that free? And then we pay for treatment, or me and the insurance pay for treatment. So they called me back this week and said, a few days later, and said, okay, we've talked to your insurance company. They are going to pay, but I still have a deductible that I have to meet, and I haven't used any of my deductible this year. I haven't paid on my deductible, I guess that's the way to say it. So I am going to have to pay out of pocket $190 and some change, which it went from $296 to $190, so that's $200 cheaper. So I'm very thankful for that. It's still expensive, but so they told me in one of the places I was talking to take ibuprofen and to use a heating pad, and they said don't put anything cold on it. And they did ask me, like, is your neck bothering you? I went, yes, it has been bothering me. Like, well, that's part of the symptoms of TMJ, is your neck starts aching, your jaw starts aching, teeth feel funny. And I said, it feels like I've been wearing somebody else's teeth for a while. I know that sounds so funny, but that's really what it feels like. It doesn't feel like my teeth anymore. Right now I'm feeling pretty good, but they said in the symptoms it was like as if your teeth don't fit together properly, and that's exactly what I was feeling. It's like this feels really weird. So, started taking ibuprofen a lot more. I mean, I'm still within, you know, like, I can't remember how many hours apart. Saturday was a really bad day last Saturday. Sunday was better. Monday was a horrible day, but after Monday, I have gotten better significantly, and I've actually pulled back on the amount of ibuprofen I've been taking. So I've been using a heating pad, and that really, really helps. So I've kind of been putting it on my neck and then a little bit on my jaw over here. That is really, really helping a lot. So I feel a lot better, and I was an avid gum chewer. I chewed a lot of gum. I know it's probably a nasty and awful looking habit, especially when you see somebody else chewing it. But I have caught myself reaching for where I kept the gum stored. I would go over to that and I'm like, shoot, I'd already disposed of the gum. I gave it away, but I was like, oh man, I can't chew that anymore. And it was so many times I went to get gum and it would hit me, you can't chew that. You can't chew it. So I was telling a friend of mine about it who is a smoker, and as long as I've known her for over 17 years, she's been a smoker, and she says, you know, the addiction part of the nicotine, they say will stop in about 3 days, but it's that habit of having that cigarette in your hand. And she said it's kind of like that in a little bit of a way, that is just the habit of going and reaching for that gum. She said it's the habit of reaching for the cigarette. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I know mine gum chewing habit is nowhere in the neighborhood of a smoker's habit, but excuse me. But I would think that would be like 100 times worse, trying to quit smoking than trying to quit chewing gum. But regardless, trying to stay away from foods that are more chewy, gum being one of them, any type of fruit snacks. I'm like, well, maybe that'll cure my addiction of eating Sour Patch Kids, because I love me some Sour Patch Kids and some Gushers, but those things I have to stay away from for now. So that is one of the other things that's been going on. So another thing I kind of wanted to share with you, this is going to be completely random, but I found this YouTube channel, and I want to say it's called Pint Size Beauty, but I may be wrong on the name, but I think Pint Size was in the name. And this girl was doing, she said it was a Christian Louboutin collection. So I love watching those videos. So I clicked on it, and she said that she was actually going to be just showing some shoes that she was going to sell and give to charity. And I thought, wow, that's amazing that she's going to sell these and just donate the money to charity. I completely applauded her for that. But the funny thing was, each time she would hold up a pair of shoes, she would either say, I don't know why I bought this. It's so tacky. And I'm going, you're not a very good sales lady right there by saying that. So I was just getting tickled all the way through the video, because it was literally like every shoe she held up, it was either tacky, she hated it. I'm like, why did you buy this stuff? But anywho, I just thought I would throw that in there. So the next other good thing, or that wasn't really a good thing, that was just something I included, but another good thing, I have been making more eBay sales this week, despite the fact that I've got an unpaid item. Everything else has been paid for. I believe I'm currently up to 4 items this week, so very thrilled about that. One other weird thing about eBay, I'm just going to throw this out there, and you guys may be annoyed with me constantly talking about it, but these are my weekly chats of what's going on in my life, so I'm going to do it anyway. I added a couple of Coach purses. Those will probably be the last 2 Coach handbags I will ever add to eBay. I'm not going to promise, but I don't plan on buying any more in the near future, even in the distant future. But I added my last, I still have 1 Coach handbag that I'm keeping, and then I've got another one that's completely worn out that I couldn't sell. So I added these 2 handbags, and somebody made me a ridiculously low offer on one of them, and I went, nope. I countered her, I gave her, you know, I countered back and I came down, but she countered still ridiculously low. So at that point, I went over to her page, I clicked on her username, eBay store, whatever, and I saw that she pretty much only sold Coach items, and she had them priced so high. I mean, ridiculously high. She had mostly from the Poppy line, and from what I can recall, the Poppy was the cheaper line of Coach. And she had some of these Poppy items priced almost at what they would have been brand new. And so it hit me, I'm like, you're just trying to get me to sell you an item for extremely low so you can turn around and resell it and jack the price up. I'm like, no, I'm not going to deal with that at all. So I rejected her last offer. And then about 5 days later, she came back with her original offer. And I came back with my original offer back to her, and she rejected that. So even still at this point, if she makes another offer, I'm going to decline it. I'm not dealing with somebody like that. You know, on one hand, if you want to, when you buy something, I don't care what you do with it at all. But I'm not going to give something away to somebody so they can turn around and resell it. And I mean, jack the price way up. I'm not going to do that. If she wanted to resell it, she's going to have to give me what I asked for it. Anywho, let's move on to something else. So my most exciting thing I think that happened this week was going to Fleur de Force's U.S. book tour meetup. I was so thrilled to meet her and Mike. They were such kind and gracious, lovely people. You didn't get to spend that much time with them as I expected, but they were so lovely, and I was so thrilled to meet both of them. So this is her book. I did pre-order her book, and I got an email that it was going to be delivered or shipped on the 15th of October. The meetup was on the 13th, so I ended up canceling that order, and I did buy this in the store. So she signed it right there, and the way they did it, a lady came through the line and was writing our names on Post-it notes, so Fleur could go ahead and have the name on a Post-it note so she could sign it. Then it just says, "With love from Fleur, XX," or Fleur de Force, and then Mike signed it down there. So they were all being signed the same way, but I didn't care. She really signed it. So another lady came through the line before Fleur came out, and she had a bag, and she said, "Pick one out of the bag." And we looked in the bag, and it was stuff from Fleur's new cosmetic line. So I ended up picking a lip gloss because that was pretty much what I'm interested in of what she's been selling. And this one is Little Star. It's 010. So I got Little Star. I have not opened it yet, but I am thrilled to tell you it is in plastic packaging. So even, I don't know how these are normally, they come from Feel Unique, so I don't think Feel Unique actually has a store, but I was thrilled that it was covered in plastic, so the lids can't be opened and messed with like the NYX products, if you know what I mean by NYX. None of them are covered in plastic, so people can use them as testers in the store, so thrilled about that. So got that free, and I also got some free stuff from Bath and Body Works. I just thought I'd throw that out there. So overall, a really good week. The negative would be my dental issues and then the unpaid item, but overall I've had a great week. I am happy today. It's actually Friday, the day I'm filming this. So I'm going to say bye for now. I hope you guys have had a blessed and wonderful week. I will talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.